myself some Frankenteen.
Then I'm out of here.
Yeah, me too, Scooby. Me too. That was definitely not the voice I expected out of him. So first, let me just say, Warner Brothers are not nice with their copyright, so I have to edit this much differently than other videos, and might have to for the rest of the Scooby-Doo movies. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. Let me know in the comments what you think about the editing, and give it a like, hype it up, all that stuff too, thank you. And with this movie, well, let's just say, we started off okay with the Boo Brothers, but we took a big dip into a swampy mess. And not the swamp these ghouls love. No, worse than that. I'm sorry if this is a movie you grew up on and love, but I have some things to say because, oh no. So, roll the intro. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, the second full-length TV movie that came out in 1988, just a year after the Boo Brothers. Now, the thing with this movie, I've never seen it, so I had some nostalgia for the Boo Brothers, so maybe that's why I'm kinder to it, because I'm not going to be kind to this one. But you know what? I feel like I have a good excuse. I'm here to watch Scooby-Doo, not a bunch of school kids, because I feel like for a good hour, there's barely enough Scooby and Shaggy, and Scrappy is also here, but barely plays any role. Instead, we focus so much on the ghouls and the military boys that it doesn't feel like I'm watching Scooby-Doo. It felt more like a crossover episode. Speaking of, the ghouls in this movie randomly appear in an episode of OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. I've never watched that show, but that's so random considering Scooby and Shaggy don't even appear in the episode, which is fitting considering how little of a role they play in this movie. So anyway, the plot. Shaggy has a new job as a gym teacher at a girls' school, which, considering in the original series, it mentions that he is a gymnast, so it's not that odd in the end. But then twist, it's not a girls' school, it's a ghoul school. For girl ghouls, we have an Elvira-looking vampire who can turn into a bat, a werewolf, a phantom, Frankenstein-looking ghoul, and a mummy. In other words, classic monsters. We even have just a hand floating around helping out the owner of the ghoul school. And there's also a little dragon named Matches, which is a cute name. That character doesn't speak, easily making him the best character in this particular movie. So of course, hilarity ensues as they get used to it pretty quickly. Yeah, it's like a little over 5 minutes of they are then teaching them ballet with Scrappy judging why they're wearing tutus.
Why do we have to dance around in a dress, Shaggy?
Tough titty.
How dare you? And also jogging with them. Seeing Shaggy wear shorts like this is like, god damn, the dude is a treak. No, not treak, a treak. He's skinny, in other words. The Ghoul Girls all have their own quirks, but really, I didn't care for them, because they all just do the same thing and go along with everything in the same ways. It's not like they don't have their own personalities, but they really are so cookie cutter that they're just boring. Like the werewolf howls a lot, who knew? They love quicksand because haha, death. And they all eat rotten food because it's rotten, so that makes it good to them because, you know, monsters like weird stuff. And so we get a recurring joke of Shaggy and Scooby wanting to eat food, but it's made of like snails, mud, and so on and so forth. It does happen way too often that it's like, guys, seriously, you're not this stupid. So what else happened in this movie? Well, next door is a boys' military school, and so we have even more characters. It was a complaint I had about the Boo Brothers juggling too many characters, but here it's even worse that it's impossible to remember all their names, and I generally got so bored within the half-hour mark because it would cut to these guys being all quirky. Sometimes we'd just focus on the ghouls, and it's like I'm not here to watch a cartoon about a ghoul school and military boys. I'm here for Scooby-Doo. But it barely feels like there is any of them in this movie, besides maybe like 2 parts, which this movie can be broken down to like 4 parts. 1, meeting the ghouls and their first lesson. I do like the opening of this movie and a joke they make about Scooby saying, look, whiting, and Shaggy thinks he is saying lightning. but he is saying whiting, as his name comes up on screen as like starring Scooby-Doo, and then circles around him, and then Scooby moves it over to Shaggy, and then to Scrappy. I think that is very clever and really cute. This was a really cute opening. So it did start off strong for me. Scooby using his tail as a windshield is hella cute scene they do right after, but also Scoob, get back in the car! As I said, this movie did start off really cute, and I was invested in this. But as it introduced all the characters, I just got bored, and all that charm it had just died out really fast. I do think it's cute that we see Scrappy sleep in a drawer. That's cute. But there's not much else to really say about the first part. I like matches. That's about it. Maybe because I'm biased towards dragons, but I did find his character kind of cute. I don't mind all the designs for the ghouls and such. And as I said, they do have their own personalities, but they're all just really similar. The second part is a volleyball match against the military boys, which goes on for too long. And the third part is the dads coming to visit. I like Papa Werewolf, voiced by Frank Welker, who also voices pretty much all the animals in this movie. This was probably the most enjoyable part of the movie, as they're all just really nice guys who like Scooby and the gang and want them to continue teaching their children. After that, there's the fourth and final part of the movie. We have this witch and plant monster who has appeared in short moments throughout the movie, but the last hour is focused on her kidnapping the children and wanting to use them as slaves. This is the most Scooby-Doo-like of the movie, and is the more fun side of it. The problem is, I was so bored and done by the time this part started that I just didn't care. I wanted the movie to be over. But it was a fun moment as the Ghoul girls get kidnapped and Shaggy, Scooby and Scrappy have to go rescue them, leading them to a spooky castle, which again makes it feel like Scooby-Doo. Of course they rescue the girls, blow up the witch, and it's a happy ending with the gang being offered to stay longer to look after more ghouls, which leads to them screaming and running away from the monsters. Oh, but not before Scrappy whaps.
So with the cadets it was a snap to escape Revolta's trap. Now let's get loose and dance and clap while I lay on my Scrappy rap.
Yes, we get a Scrappy whap in this movie. Honestly, there's not a lot to talk about, there really isn't. The characters are just all one note, and I just didn't really get into it. I didn't get into any of them. Because obviously the vampire does vampire jokes, the mummy does mummy jokes. It's all pretty basic like that. Which is fine. It did come out in 1988, so it's fine. But it just, I don't know, it just didn't really do much for me. It doesn't help there's too many characters. I feel like it should not have even had the boy school in there, honestly. It just focused on the ghouls. That's what it needed to do. It wasn't focused enough. It had too many plots happening. And there's barely enough Scooby, Shaggy, and yes, even Scrappy, who really plays no real role in this movie. He plays the judge during the volleyball part, but that's really it. There is no reason for Scrappy to be in this movie. Compared to the Boo Brothers, while Shaggy and Scooby are running around scared, Scrappy is the one pushing the movie forward, and so there's a reason for him to be there, but there's no reason for him to be in this movie. And the comedy just isn't there. Yeah, the Boo Brothers had a lot of characters, sure, but at least some of them were comedic, compared to all these characters who just ain't, or don't have personality to them, that if something funny happens to them, it just doesn't work. Which mostly comes down to the military boys just being they could fit into any cartoon. Look, there's really not much to really talk about. As I said, the werewolf howls a lot, the mummy does mummy jokes, the vampire does vampire jokes. They like spooky, creepy things. The boys are all ew, ghoul girls, but help them out in the end. The witch's plan is basic and uninteresting. The jokes are all the same jokes throughout the movie. I really wasn't interested in this movie or these characters. So I'm sorry to say, but Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School is a 4 out of 10 foxes. I found this movie to be just so boring and not enough Scooby. There's nothing really offensive about it, that's why it's a 4 and not a 3 or 2 or something like that. But it just kind of exists. It's not... I wasn't a fan of it. I do think this movie was just... Where's Scooby? Where's Scooby in this? I think this movie should have been, ditch for boy school and just focus on the ghouls. It would have been less characters and more contained to this one kind of story, instead of being about the kids and focus as much as it does on them. I know that people do love this movie, and I really want to understand why. Like, is it because you just grew up on it? Have you watched it recently? I really want to understand, like, why do you love this movie? So if you have seen it and have fond memories of it, please do let me know down in the comments below. I apologize if I'm a bit rude, but hey, this is my review. This is my opinion on this movie. I just don't think it really was all that good. I'm sorry. Like, there's really not much else to talk about. The plot is what it is. What happens in between, like, which I would normally talk about in the review, isn't interesting in the slightest. They play some volleyball, the boys cheat. What a surprise. Not really. So yeah, that's the end of this review. It's a short one, because I just don't know what to talk about. There's not much to talk about. There's nothing really funny to kind of show you guys. It's just, this movie just kind of happens. Well, either way, stay tuned for Scooby-Doo and a Reluctant Werewolf next. Please do go follow me over on Blue Sky and Twitter. If you like what I do, consider donating to my PayPal or Coffee, link down below. Don't forget to hype the video with a little star icon somewhere. Please do, it really will help me out. It helps out small channels like myself. And please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and VitoFox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.